Welcome, everyone. Here we are, moving along in chapter 26 in St. Matthew. And this is a very sentimental part. I know that this all had to occur, but there's a lot of interesting things here, even at the Last Supper. And then the example that he gave of washing the feet, and then this conspiracy to put him to death by horrible Satanists. So we got a lot of interesting things here, and I will explain the similitudes there at the Last Supper. Chapter 26, St. Matthew, verse 1. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, You know that that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Okay, now see, that's why I said you had the Passover ceremony for all these years that the Hebrews were doing, and it was all a similitude of this getting rid of sin like this. And so that is the whole idea about the ceremony, was teaching you of the world to come and the salvation to come. He fulfilled the law with this. Okay. 3, it says, Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas. Okay. And consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. Not a problem. Hey, I'm a holy man. I'm gonna murder him. Yeah, they're real holy. 4, it says, and consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. Isn't that horrible? 5, it says, but they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Okay, so there's that. 6, it says in a new paragraph, now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? Question mark. And in the other Gospels, you see that the main troublemaker is Judas here. For this ointment in 9 might have been sold for much and given to the poor. 10, it says, when Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. 11, it says, For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. 12, it says, For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. 13, Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her. Isn't that great? She not only gets into the New Jerusalem, but she gets in the doctrine. What kind of memorial is that? That is the best memorial you could have. 14 is a new paragraph. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. Now that's, you go right there into the New and the Old Testament. This harmonizes totally. This 30 pieces of silver was prophesied out of the Old Testament. It just was. Okay, 30 pieces of silver, and then tossing it back into the temple. All right, 16, and from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Wasn't that nice? Now, the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came up to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Question mark. 18, and he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. 19. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. 20. Now, when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. 21. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. 22. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? Question mark. And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. So, see, this, when an occultist, they believe they're a god. So here he is dipping his hand in there with the Son of God. So it's in a way, a symbolic greediness by going for the in the same dish. But anyway, 24. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. 25. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? Question mark. He saith unto him, Thou hast said. 26 is a new paragraph. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat. This is my body. Okay, now he's not saying literally to be a cannibal. Okay, but you see, as the cannibal believes he's absorbing the spirit of whoever it is whoever his victim is, he's telling you by the death of his body that they will receive the Spirit of the Holy Ghost, the great Comforter. And that will be the outpouring of it through his death and resurrection. 27. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. Okay, obviously, same thing. He's not telling people to drink blood. That is forbidden in the law, and this is what the Satanists do. And they believe they're getting spirit by drinking this blood. Let's say you're two witches and you're wanting to covenant together. Then you drink each other's blood, you see. So they do that in their rituals, and but so he's mocking that, but at the same time explaining what the all the shedding of the blood and the sprinkling of the blood over the altar, putting it on the horns, all that is the fulfillment of the law. And this blood, his shedding blood, is the New Testament. It's the new covenant that is going to work. Not to do away with the old law. That's not the goal, but to fulfill the old law and to give people remission of sins. That's plain speaking here in 28. 29. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. Okay, so before he goes up and receives the Melchizedek flesh, he tells them, don't touch me. But when he comes back and he is there supping with them, this is the beginning of the new kingdom. No, it hasn't come to earth yet. It's in the spirit within people, yes. But the physical New Jerusalem will be coming. And he's telling them that he will dine with them again in the flesh. And that prophecy comes true. And the New Jerusalem prophecy will come true also. And one thing about the Lord loves music. 30, and when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. 31. Then saith Jesus unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night. Okay, now we go to this prophecy here. And they're giving you this out of Zechariah. We just studied that, folks. 31. Then saith Jesus unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, capital S, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. 32. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. And that was a prophecy, and it was fulfilled. Okay, good old Peter here. He says, Peter answered and saith unto him, though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. See that word? That's a serious word. And people toss it around. And they toss it around over Christ. 34. Jesus said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. Okay, and that was a prophecy there at 34, and that came true. 35. Peter said unto him, though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. And you know what? Even though they do run here and it fulfills the scriptures, these men will all give their life for the Lord, minus John, who was sent to the island prison. Okay, but everyone else, they give their life for this. And so did Paul. 36 is a new paragraph. Then cometh Jesus with them into a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. Okay? Now this is a similitude of staying awake. Not staying in dark, but stay in the light. Okay? Don't sleep and slumber while he's gone. Okay, so you notice here, it's the closet prayer, which he did most of the time, minus some prayers that he did in front of people, and he explains that. I did this so you'd hear. Okay? Okay, so anyway, here they go, and the spirit of slumber starts to fall on them. 17, and he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. 38, then saith he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. See, there's the spirit of watchfulness, folks, that's being taught in this, even though this is a true blue history. It is also teaching us the spirit of watchfulness. 39, and he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. 40, and he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Okay? So there is the importance of watching. Okay? It's taught throughout the Bible. This is not willy-nilly when it comes to him returning to earth. Okay? And we're going to get more of it here. 41, it says, Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Okay, that's a big, important one. You got to stay in the spirit. And that spirit will give you the watchfulness from inside you. Notice the prayer here that goes along with watching. Okay. 42, the number of months in the great tribulation, he went away again the second time and prayed, saying, Oh, my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And you see, notice when he passed that cup to the apostles, because what does he say? Can you drink of the same cup with me? In other words, he's saying you can what? Give your life for others like he is. 43, and he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And that spirit of slumberness, slothfulness, and sleeping and blindness is out here in the world. It's a spell being put over the public. 44, and he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. 45, then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. 46, Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. 47 is a new paragraph. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. 49, and forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. 50, and Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Jesus and took him. 51, and behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword and stroke a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. And that was a relative to them. We know from the other Gospels, and we know there's more to this incident here, and we'll harmonize that with the other Gospels here. All right, so anyway, on we go. 52, and what does he tell Peter? Then saith Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Okay, so that's said back in Genesis, but it's also in Revelations about the last days. So if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. It's actually the faith of the saints there in Revelations. And we're going to be studying that soon on Sundays. So I spilled the beans. That was Peter that did that. 53, Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? Question mark. But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled? And he quotes Isaiah here, 53:10, that thus it must be. 55, In that same hour said Jesus to the multitudes, Are ye come out as against a thief, with swords and with staves, for to take me? I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. 56, But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. '57, new paragraph. And they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. So here they break the law, which, they love the law. Oh, sure they do. How about no false witnesses? Anyway, 58, But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Jesus to put him to death. 60, But found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses. 61, notice this is all in the 60s here. And said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days. Okay, he was talking about his death and resurrection in that statement that they twisted around. 62, And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? And that was prophecy fulfilled. What is it which these witness against thee? But Jesus held his peace. See, that was prophecy. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. 64. Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said, Nevertheless I say unto you. Now this is the second coming, folks. Hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Yeah, on the white horse, the white cherub. 65. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? ? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. 66. In the occult number this way. What think ye? ? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Yeah, they have the spirit of the devil. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Christ, who is he that smote thee? ? 69. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. 70. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. 71. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. 72. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. Ouch. That's twice. The prophecy was it'll be 3 times. 73. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech betrayeth thee. 74. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. 75. And Peter remembered the words of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. Well, I tell you, this is sad. I know it had to happen, and but I just every time I read it, it is really sad. It's a very sad part of the Bible. So anyway, we'll carry on here in the last 2 chapters of St. Matthew, and that'll be 27 and 28. 28 chapters, a number of generations from David to Christ. See you there, folks.